Welcome. Today we have Dr. Ida with us and Shannon Post. So you get two Shannons and Dr. Ida. So just so excited for you guys. Let's get started. Shannon, you actually had someone ask a question that was emailed. I think it was a clarifying question. It said, during your talk, you mentioned how career transitions often look messy on paper, but reveal a through line when you zoom out. For someone feeling scattered in their career, what practical first step would you recommend to help them identify their unique through line?
So I think transitions are messy because life is messy. I don't
Right.
think it's you actually particularly unique to transitions. But any point of transition or change, it does bring a lot of, it upsets the apple cart. So you're shaking up that snow globe. Things are uncertain and our brain hates uncertainty. So I would recommend a two-prong approach for the practical steps. One is how to ground your brain into safety so that it doesn't keep panicking through the chaos. And one of the easiest tools to do that is to list out what's not changing. I actually learned this from Kathy Colby, who certified me in the Colby method. And I remember we were in our big certification. I'm a 10 quick start. So I like change for change's sake, just because. Yeah, I'm like, that's working. Let's change it. And she was like, you really need to ask people, and I was working with a team. She's like, remind them about what's not changing. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, that's obvious. And she's like, it actually helps calm the brain down when there's too much change, when you've hit a change saturation point. And so starting to list like what's not changing in your career. Are you still getting a paycheck? Are you still going to put clothes on in the morning? Are you still going to brush your hair? All of those sorts of things. The second is to, I'm trying to how to word this without being like my thing. That's what. Um, so I do have a course, and it's a way to walk through all the steps you need to think through the chaos to see the through line, because the through line is what we're looking for. Some of us were born knowing we want to be a doctor, pilot, whatever, firefighter. The rest of us have these overarching themes or portfolio careers, they're also called, where it's just like you're good at a skill set, but it can be very hard to see. It's hard to see yourself. So getting a coach or a therapist or if you have a friend who's really good at that, somebody who can see you from the outside. I don't normally recommend friends and family because they have a vested interest in the outcome.
Right.
Whereas a third party doesn't. Like, we care about you, but we want, we're not specific in what you're doing. But walking through, what do you want in your life? What do you like? What are you good at? I don't look at so much what the market needs. Like, you can figure out how to sell it in a market,
Right.
usually. But I really recommend going through a step-by-step process of some kind, whether it's mine or somebody else's, because once you go through it, I'm going to back up. If you just sit down, and I've said this a couple of times during the week, and you're just like, what is it? What's the through line? Now, go. Like, your brain is going to shut down and think about your grocery list. Like, it's not wired that way.
Right.
In my method, you end up making a lot of lists, like, everything you don't, all the things you can rant about, all the things. And it seems people be like, this isn't career related. This isn't, on point. I'm like, yeah, after a while it will be, and then in like the fifth or sixth week, we zoom out and all of a sudden you can start seeing the trends.
Right.
So some people are really good at pattern recognition. If you're one of those people, you might be able to do it for yourself. If you're not great at pattern recognition, getting somebody that is, but slowing down and going through a process so it's not overwhelming and you're not trying to choke it out of somebody. So yeah. Tell me now.
So that sounds good. Welcome, Ray. Glad to have you here.
Yay!
I would like to hear from all three of you. What is one piece of advice that you wish that you knew earlier in your career that could have helped you or maybe shifted how you did things early on?
I'm curious to hear from Ray. She always has she always has good insight.
Mike.
Okay, so what advice would I wish I would have known early on? When I was younger, I always felt like I had to prove myself, that I had to pretend like I was the smartest person in the room when it wasn't necessary. I was always afraid to share and show that I didn't know something early on. And so I think that may have prohibited me from actually learning what I needed to know. And I think that, being a female sometimes is attributed to that, but also like just trying to always have something to prove, even though we really don't have to do that. And I think because I was younger and I was in a leadership position and I had people that I was leading that were way older than I was and predominantly men. So here's this young, in her early 20s telling a bunch of guys what to do. And I think that I kind of had this like a little bit of a chip on my shoulder of I had to prove myself, right? And not I always tried to think that I had the capability of making everybody happy and keeping everyone, happy in their roles. And I think if I would have realized that no matter who you are, you cannot make all people happy at all times, right? And so understanding that sometimes the decisions that are made are not necessarily in the best interest of an individual who wants them to be in their best interest, but collectively, what's going to be the best interest of the whole entire company or the whole entire team. So I have like a sign that I say, what's best interest for the company, the team, and the individual, not the other way around. Or, first we think of we want to make sure that things are going to be good for the whole company, not just the individual. So if I could go back to my younger self, I would probably tell myself to not worry so much about what I don't know, right? They always say fake it till you make it. Well, I think that's kind of a falsehood because if you don't know something, you need to allow yourself the freedom to be able to ask questions and not feel like you are stupid or that you are, less than because you don't know the answer to something. And so for those that are listening to this and you are in that situation, it's okay if you don't know something. And actually, it makes you more intelligent if you have the ability to be okay with asking more questions.
Yeah, recognizing that. Yep.
Yeah.
I like that. Shannon, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes. I'm like, the list is so long. But I wish I'd known.
Only it was short, right?
Yeah, I wish that was a short thing. I think realizing that it's okay to want what you want. It just is. And along the way it takes a lot of courage to create a life that you want, including a career that you want. Because a lot of, at least in my case, I came from a prescriptive background. So I was told, this is God's will for you. Please do this thing. And I didn't think it was okay. I was like, well, I want this other thing, but I guess I gotta, do what the people around me who are older and seem wiser and, they've been through life, they seem to know. So I just sort of, like a lot of us do, like go down the path of the thing you think you're supposed to be doing. And I think when you have courage to just say, you know what, actually, this isn't what I want, two things are going to happen that are inevitable anyway. One, you're going to make people mad. And you're actually going to make people mad at some point, just like Ray said, like you can't make them happy. It's such a futile thing to try to do. I mean, I gave it a good, 50 years, and that didn't work. So I quit. I was like, that's a good college try. I worked hard at that. But you're going to make them mad. So why not make them mad early? There's something my therapist says. She's like, if somebody's going to be uncomfortable, it shouldn't be you. She's like, it's okay that it's them. It's not their life. It's not their, they have their own stuff to do. And I think in the second part of that is that it's okay to be good at something and not do that in your life. And it's really, it loops back into like, and you're going to make people mad doing that because they'll be like, you have this gift. And you're like, can I give it back? Is there a return policy? I don't want to do that. Like, I didn't ask for this. And a lot of people get caught up in jobs of like, I'm really good at it, but I don't like it. And it's okay to leave. Like, it's okay to go do something. You are also, most people are good at more than one thing in their life. So it's okay to go do something else that you're good at that you also like, because that's how careers are sustainable. Like if you have to drag yourself out of bed to go to a job that you hate, to come home to a life that you didn't want, that's a hard life and it's not sustainable. And you can keep it up
it's not
maybe
really
through your
living
30s.
life.
Yeah, like it's miserable. And yeah, I guess I wish I had known that that wasn't the only option. It isn't work hard until you die.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way.
I agree. So, okay, we are almost to the end of our time. I guess one of the things I want to end on is what is one action step that you would challenge the people listening here to do to go out after this ends? To what's one practical action step that they can do once the summit is over?
I think I'm going to address the overwhelm because I feel like that's the word I've heard every single day.
Yeah, I think so too.
In that like overwhelm. I would challenge people to start with their to-do list. Most of us have some sort of to-do list, whether it's in your brain or on the kitchen fridge or on a list or whatever, or in a sauna, and filter it. I want you to filter it. And this is a tool from Martha Beck that I learned from Martha Beck. I don't know if she created it. And it's called the 3 Bs. It's called bag it, barter it, better it. And it helps you take control. It starts putting you in that role of CEO of your life or manager or head of household or however you want to, the title you want. But you go through your to-do list and section out the things that you don't want to do. Like there's just stuff you don't want to do. Can you bag it? Can you just not do it? Do you have to make your bed? Do you? Like you don't. Like you might want to, maybe that's in the want to list, but what can you get rid of? What can you, Jim Collins calls it your stop doing list. Mm-hmm. So can you bag it? Can you better it? So you got to do it. Like you got to do your taxes, or you got to do your, pay the bills. Like, can you pour a cup of tea and put some music on and get the cat and a heating pad? And like, it's better. It's better. It's not awful. It's, it's not perfect, but it's just better. And then barter it is like, can you get somebody else to do it? And I think that was the hardest one for me where I'm like, no, I have to do everything because I need to be in control of everything. And you don't, it turns out. And a lot of people do a lot of things better. To Ray's point, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You need to be really good at delegating. Yeah. So can you barter it out? Can you swap it with somebody? Can you hire somebody to do it? And I think it can start turning the ship a little bit, those trim tabs, those little bitty movements to start turning your life in so that you're in control of it. Or control. I mean, I think we can't control everything, but you're in as much control as you have over your life. So that's what I would challenge people to do, to cut down that overwhelm.
Yeah.
I like that. The 3 Bs. I have it written up on my whiteboard. It's DDT. Do it, delegate it, or toss it.
Yep.
Now I'm going to add the 3 Bs.
Yeah. Yeah, the 3 Bs are easy to remember for me.
I love it. Well, thank you all for being here. It's been such a pleasure. You all have a great one and we'll talk soon. Bye.